Okay, so if you go to your Google Drive and you are to click the New section, head down. You won't see the forms within this drop down bar, but if you press More, you'll see it appear just off to the side. So it's under Google Forms. If we click in the forms, we'll then be able to create our form. So start off maybe with a title. So it might be something as simple as to be high school library survey. Now we can also use this title to be able to name our form, which is just at the top, but if you just click on the untitled form, it'll pretty much sub in what we've written as the title. You can give it a descriptor, but it's entirely up to yourself. The main part with our questions, it's already got one pre-formatted one ready to go, so we can type in whether it be question 1. And as I mentioned, if you have your questions already pre-written either in a Word document or a Google Docs, it's pretty easy to import them. So let's say, for instance, one I made earlier in a Google Doc, I can highlight, copy it, go back to my survey and easily paste it in, and it's ready to go. So depending on the type of question that you wanted, on the right hand side here you can easily choose. So we've got things such as a multiple choice, which is pretty easy, checker box, drop down, and there's also linear scales as well. Sometimes the survey is going to try and pre-format what it thinks you want, but you can easily select. Say for instance we wanted a multiple choice, I can either easily type in my question, my answers, or it can also give you some pre-formatted stuff. So at the top here it thinks that I want the closed questions, so things for quantitative data, so it might be yes, no, maybe. I can add those in, or if I really want everything it's suggested, I can press add all, and it will necessarily add them all in, so as they appear here. If you make a mistake or you don't want something, very easy. So this option 1, I can press the X and it will disappear. The other option you've got is you can add other. Beauty of it is sometimes if you do have the quantitative questions where people necessarily select just one, they can select other and they can give a qualitative answer as well. The only thing with the multiple choice section is that people will only be able to give one answer. So if you were to click on something like a checker box, you're allowing your people that you're surveying to be able to give multiple answers. They can click a couple. Let's say for instance that I am happy with that question. If I wanted to make a new question, all I do is I press the add question, and I can easily keep going along and adding my questions in. Again, just designing what type of question I require. The other function that we do have is down here is if you want it to be a required question. So if I were to highlight or to click on that switch, the question now becomes a required question. Just means when they go to submit, it won't allow it to submit unless all the required questions are necessarily done. Don't worry if you've made any mistakes at all or you don't like the question, you can necessarily hit the delete and it will get rid of it. Now, the other thing you can do is that if you wanted to necessarily send it to me, I'm happy to have a look at it. There's a little button up here with the 3 dots. If you click on that and go down, it's going to give you a series of different things that you can do. If you hit the add collaborators, and it's going to tell you exactly who has access and who owns the actual sheet. But you can invite people to necessarily do your question beforehand. So before we actually you were to send it out to everyone, you can necessarily get people to be able to do it. If you want, you're more than welcome to send it to me. So my address is, I'll have it on the central message that I sent to you. But let's say, for instance, I type the person that you wanted to go to, which would be me. Sorry, I got a long double barrel name. and because it's through Google, it is the education email newsouthwales.gov.au, and if you were to hit send, it will automatically send, and I can have a look at it. Hopefully the stuff I sent through is going to be helpful. Again, I'll definitely get to you as soon as possible, and we'll go through it and see if we can get it to send out.